Today we're going to be talking about dividing with mixed numbers. Let's review real quickly. We started out this unit learning how to multiply a whole number times a fraction. Remember, we had to put the whole number over 1 to turn it into a fraction form. And then it's top times top, bottom times bottom. Then we multiplied fractions times fractions. Again, top times top, bottom times bottom. And then when we had mixed numbers when we were multiplying, the first thing we had to do was change any mixed numbers to an improper fraction. That way we could still do top times top, bottom times bottom. 7.4, we learned about dividing fractions. Dividing fractions, don't ask why, flip the second and multiply. So as long as we take that second fraction and take the reciprocal of it, turn it upside down, then we're multiplying top times top, bottom times bottom. That's how we deal with regular fractions. Now, today, the new thing is we're dividing with mixed numbers here. So just like we had to do in multiplying, we have to do the same thing with division. We can't have mixed numbers when we divide. So the first step we need to do is change all mixed numbers to improper fractions before beginning anything else. Then, just like we learned in our last lesson, we're going to rewrite the problem as multiplication and flipping that second one, and then simplify before multiplying if possible. Multiply as normal. Make sure it's simplified at the end. So these are your steps. I want to see these in your notes tomorrow. So make sure you take the time to write them down. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. You can see we have 3 1/3 divided by 2/3. So our step one is to take this part right here. We can't have that. So we want to rewrite this as improper. Remember, we take the whole number times the denominator. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then we add it to the top. 9 plus 1 is 10. So this is going to be 10 over 3. So again, we're just rewriting the same value. Just like calling yourself a different name, still the same person. I'm Mrs. Sorby in school and Christy at home. That's all we're doing here is we're just relabeling it. It's the same amount. So 10/3 is what we have now instead of 3 1/3. So now we want to rewrite the problem as multiplication. So I'm going to have 10/3, and instead of dividing, I'm going to change it to multiply, and I need to flip this around. I need the reciprocal of 2/3. So I have 10/3 times 3 over 2. Perfect. So now I've rewritten it as a multiplication. Can I simplify before I multiply? Absolutely. I have a 3 on the bottom and a 3 on the top. It doesn't get much more common than that. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I have a 2 and a 10. They're both even. So I'm going to divide them both by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. I've got 5, 1, 1, and 1. When I multiply it out, I end up with 5 times 1 is 5, 1 times 1 is 1, 5 over 1, which is the same thing as just the whole number 5 as my answer. Good job. Let's try another one. All right, now we have 2 different mixed numbers. So the first thing we have to do is change them to improper. So when we take 8 times 3, we get 24, plus 2 to get 26 as our new top number. So we have 26/3 divided by, now here, 1 times 9 is 9, plus 1 is 10, so 10 is my top number. My bottom number was a 9, so it's going to stay a 9. So 26/3 divided by 10/9. Now I want to rewrite the problem as multiplication, and it's important that you rewrite this step until you're good and comfortable with it. I want to see you rewriting it. So 26/3 times 9 over 10. It's real easy to want to skip this step and just say you're going to remember it, but it's too hard to remember to flip this and change it to multiply if you don't rewrite it. So I would love to see you rewriting it. That's what I'm looking for in these next couple of assignments. So now simplify before you multiply. We'll change our color again here. A 9 and a 3, that jumps right out at me that, wow, they're both divisible by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now I have a 26, a 3, and a 10. I'm not sure what all the factors of 26 are, but I know it's even, and so is 10, so I'm going to divide them both by 2. When I do that, I get a 5 here. When I divide this by 2, I get 13. So now I got 13, 3, and 5. I recognize all those as prime numbers, so they're not going to have anything more in common. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 13 times 3, 39 over 5. 1 times 5 is 5. Now, we're not done. That's why we have that last step that says simplify. We already did simplifying over here, but we need to change this back to a mixed number. So we need to ask how many times can 5 fit into 39 without going over. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40. That's too much. So 7 is my whole number. 5 times 7 is 35. What's left over that I haven't used? 4. So 7 and 4/5 would be my perfect answer here. We're going to do one more together, and then you're going to do one on your own. So let's try it. 7/8. We don't need to do anything to change this at all. It's already in fraction form. This is the one we need to change. So what's this going to become? I hope you said 13/4. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So now when I rewrite it, I have 7/8 times 4/13. When I flip it, remember, dividing fractions, don't ask why, flip the second one and multiply. I want to remind you too, it's always the second one that you flip. It doesn't work out the same and you flip the first one. So it's flip the second and then multiply. So here again, we're looking for common numbers here. We've got a 4 and an 8. They're both divisible by 4. So we get a 1 and a 2. I got 7 and 2, 1 and 13. They don't work together, so I'm just going to multiply straight across. 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 13 is 26. It's not improper. There is no more that I could do. This is as simple as it gets. So 7/26 is my answer. So good job. Now I want to see you try this last one on your own. Just disregard these boxes up here. Some people like them to visualize, but I find them more confusing than anything. So go ahead and just do this problem here. 3 3/7 divided by 4/7. I'm going to look for it in your notes tomorrow. And have a great night.